Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to give you some high 1-4 lob basketball plays. Now, lob basketball plays are plays where you would have a player cutting towards the rim and you would lob the ball up for something like an alley-oop dunk or an alley-oop layup. These are plays that you would run if you want to kind of show off just a bit, but also they are a lot of fun. So if you've got a couple of players who can dunk a basketball, it's always nice to throw kind of one play in. If you're up by 20, or if you're up by 10 and you just want to be able to get some more momentum, these plays are for you. But also it helps you be able to get that ball over some of your defenders as well. So let's get down to the clipboard and let's check out these basketball plays. Okay, so first, in this first basketball play, what we are going to have is player 4. He's going to be setting a back screen on player 3. Player 5 is going to be setting a screen on player 1, and player 2 is going to be popping down towards this corner. So basically what's going to happen is once player 1 comes off of that screen, he is going to be looking to shoot that ball, but he's also looking at player 3 cutting backdoor after that back screen, where player 1 can send up the alley-oop or just a nice straight pass to player 3 to get that layup. Again, it doesn't have to finish with a lob, but if you have a couple of players who can dunk a basketball, it does help with your momentum and help you win more games, especially if you're already up by 10, 15 to 20 points. Now, there are times in games where you're going to really need to be able to have a lob. And these are points in the game where you may only have a couple of seconds or maybe 2 or 3 seconds left, and you need to run a lob style play. And now this is going to be a sideline inbounds play that you can run that incorporates a lob. And then we'll go back really quickly to the 1-4 offenses. So really quickly in this sideline inbounds play, we're going to have player 5 set a screen on player 1. This is our backup option who's going down into this corner so we can jack up a quick 3-point shot if we have the time. Now, the main part of this plan is for player 4 to set a screen on player 2 and for player 2 blue to cut towards the rim. This is where you would lob the ball to player 2 if you only had maybe 1 second left on the clock and you just need to get that ball close to the rim to tap it in. Now, remember having player 1 cut down towards this corner because for one, it will sidetrack the defense looking at player 1, but also, and that will leave player 2 open, but also he is a great backup option for a 3. Now going back really quickly to the 1-4 offense, I just really wanted to show you that play. Now you may be wondering, why am I always running this man-to-man defense and not really running a zone? The reason is with a lob pass, you're generally wanting to always go up against a man-to-man defense. You don't want to be going up against a zone because there isn't that many back screens that you can use to be able to get yourself open, because if you're running against something like a 2-3 zone where you would have your 3 players along the baseline, you can set that back screen on this man, but now there's still 2 players down low who are going to cut you off. So this is why you only really want to run this against a man-to-man defense. Now this next play is going to be a little bit more difficult. So we're going to be running a dribble handoff with player 3. Player 3 is going to get that ball, and he's going to be dribbling out towards the center of the court. At this time, we're going to be having player 4 set a back screen on player 2, and he's going to be popping down towards this corner. Meanwhile, player 5 is going to be popping up and setting a screen for player 1, and player 1 is going to be cutting towards the rim. Now, of course, player 3 could have taken that shot. Our number 1 option here is to get player 1 the ball, whether it be a pass or a lob. But our backup option on top of that is player 2 in this corner, where we can do a skip pass over to player 2, or a great option here as well is if player 1 was to get that ball and player 4 was seeing what was happening and he came down to defend, and we have player 2 who's open out here, we can kick the ball out to player 2. His man is obviously going to try and recover. Player 4 can pop off of that screen. Extra pass gets us a 3-point shot. Now this last little bit over here is more read and react. However, the main part of this play is, again, that lob pass with player 1. Now this next play is a lot of fun. So what we're going to be having here is player 5 and player 4 setting up a screen for player 2. This is going to be a double screen. We're going to be having player 3 cut across to this corner. Player 2 is going to be also cutting across the court. So once he gets over towards that side, player 2 is going to get that ball. We're now going to be having, at this point, player 2 having the option to take that shot. Now, what I want to see happen is player 5, he is going to be going and setting a screen for player 3. Of course, if this shot was not taken, I want to see player 3 popping up, and he is going to be our secondary option as a scoring option up in this area of the court. He's going to be popping up, but we're also going to be having player 4 setting a back screen on player 1. Player 1 is going to be cutting. These two players are worried about him and also player 5, and nobody is going to be worrying about player 1. This is why this play works really well. We can set a lob pass to player 1 or a nice bounce pass in this location right here, where now player 1 will have an opening right towards the basket. Now the reason why player 3 is our backup option is if we've ran this play to maybe 3 times, we're going to be finding that these players may be cheating down. And if that's the case, we can now do a skip pass, which is we're skipping over player 4, over to player 3 for that 3-point shot. And I always like, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you're going to be always noticing that I've got main options and backup and maybe even a third or fourth option somewhere on the court where we can still run the play. We can run it 2 or 3 times to the same player. They'll cheat, and then we can react and let them cheat and now skip past to or use our second or third option to be able to score. Now, if you've made it to this point in the video, I'm very happy because this last and final play is one of the most important plays that you're going to want to run. Now, I like to call this a high 1-4 wheel type of offense. You can name it whatever you would like, but it's not really necessarily a wheel. It's just, I like to call it that because it's similar. But we're going to have a dribble handoff with player 3. Player 3 is going to use that dribble handoff, and player 1 is going to continue out towards this side of the court. Now, what's going to happen is player 3, he is going to do a dribble handoff with player 2. Meanwhile, once player 2 gets that ball, he's going to be dribbling out towards this side of the court, and we're going to be having player 4 set a back screen on player 3. Player 2 is going to be trying to keep up with player 2 blue. Of course, he could have taken that shot. That is an option. But we're going to be having now player 5 set a screen over for player 1, and he's going to pop down towards this corner. And player 3 is going to be using player 4 as a screen, so that now we have a couple of different options. We could have had player 2 shoot that ball. He could also pass to player 3 or send up the lob pass to player 3. That is our main option that we want to focus on here. But our backup option is a skip pass over to player 1, or if we get the ball to player 3 and there's help defense, we can now kick the ball out to player 1 for the 3-point shot. If player 1 tries to, or red tries to recover, we now are reading and reacting to the defense, where now player 5 is open for a shot. I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. I hope that these plays help you be able to win more games, turn the momentum towards your favor, but also get some nasty dunks on the other team. I hope that you've enjoyed. I'll see you guys again later on today for the second video of the day.